Just waiting for some people to pile in here as we get started. Now, the one thing I'm really happy about with Mixer before we get everything going here is that at least with the notification with the bot on my Discord, the Mixer bot, it's almost instantaneous when I press the start streaming button on OBS and I go live. So I really like that, but I also have been pretty good about getting my Twitter notifications out there so that people know on my Twitter that I'm live too as well. So before we get going for today's edition of RCW, this is Season 5, Episode 18, I'd like to relay some news on you guys. So today was my first day back at college. It went well. We just went over the syllabuses, which are kind of like the course outlines for how the semester is going to go, and all of that good stuff. So there wasn't really much to tell there. However, there's this class that I have to take, which is it's a public speaking class, which it's pretty much self-explanatory what the class is. And you have to give speeches. I can't remember the exact amount of speeches, but I know there's like a demonstration one, a persuasive one, I don't know what the other one is. Oh, an informative one. I think there is an informative, persuasive, demonstrative, and there's another one too. I can't remember. But so I thought what was kind of funny was the demonstrative one. I am not sure when we're gonna actually start that in my class, but what I found to be funny about it is he basically said it's a how-to thing. And I was like, okay. Like, I believe that these speeches are possibly going to be 5 minutes, but, like, how do you can tell somebody how to do something, because I've seen those videos on YouTube where people tell people how to do things, but at the same time, it's like, how do you put that into speech format? And he said it's like more of a conversational thing, so maybe it's like, well, here's how you do this. And I don't want to sound like that. Like, I don't know, it's just kind of weird. Like, I'm not nervous or anything, but I don't want to sound like that. I don't want to sound like, how do you do this? Or, this is how you do this. Like, I just don't want to sound like that, because that sounds stupid. You know what I mean? That just sounds really stupid. So we have to run it by him first on how to do things. We can do almost anything, but within reason. So I thought, since I do the promos for wrestling, right? You've seen me write them. And if you watch my most recent video on my YouTube channel, it's the Bryan Outlaw episode, My Career Universe Mode episode 22, or 21, excuse me, where he delivers his promo on SmackDown Live. That was a promo that I didn't script it beforehand. I wrote it as I was editing the video, so I didn't script it beforehand. I usually don't do that. I really don't like to do that. Don't like to script my promos beforehand. I kind of like to do it on the fly. Reason being, because it sounds more believable. I've always been good at like improv stuff. I always done better at things when I don't have a thing in front of me. And that's what I said in public speaking in my class today, was that I said that I don't like people who read off of a paper or who go off of a paper, because you can tell when somebody's reading something off of a paper by the tone of voice, by how they're saying it, whatever. And what they're saying. So, like, I never want to do that. So I think for my demonstration speech, I'm going to show the class of 20 people, I think it's like about 20 people, how to cut a promo in wrestling. How to come up with a character in wrestling. Demonstrate how to do it. And really just tell them, this is how you come up with a character. I'll probably have like a PowerPoint to go along with it. I'll probably do maybe like one example video where I show maybe a 5-minute or maybe like a video of Rosemary or something like that and kind of talk about it. But I'm definitely going to do that because it's what I'm good at. I like to think that I'm pretty good at promos. And pretty good at doing what I do here for RCW, for you guys, and all my wrestling content that I do. And damn it, I still have to make a YouTube command. I still have to do that. I completely forgot about that. That is my that's my bad. And I apologize. So in other news today, in regards to the stream, my 1-year anniversary of RCW, of doing this show, is in 2 days, on Wednesday. If you can make it, great. If you can't, that's fine, because I'll be exporting this to YouTube. I'll be uploading this to YouTube and having it exported, so it's fine. But the reason why I'm saying this is because a year ago, on that Wednesday, on the 21st, I've decided to try something new, and it was RCW. I decided to start RCW. It was the late 2K18 cycle. It was in August, obviously. And so it was coming towards the tail end of 2K18, as we are now with 2K19. It was something that I wanted to try out. It was something that I never thought would be something that I would do. Like, I love wrestling, but to think that I would put as much time into something like this as I did, as I do, and as I did at the time, I would have never thought of it. Never. If you told me that I was going to do 5 seasons of this show and still do it after a year, I would laugh at you, because honestly, like, I'm the type of person sometimes where I get into something and then I get out of it. But I've always had a passion for wrestling, and that'll never go away. And it doesn't matter what wrestling I watch. It'll never go away. And I'll tell you why, because it's so, I guess, exploratory. You're exploring many different things about yourself throughout wrestling. That you might not be realizing. Like, if you do it the way I do it, by creating characters and by doing something incredibly awesome and creating these personalities and scripting these, and, well, not scripting, but writing these storylines and you know, building these characters' personalities and acting these characters out for you guys. Like, that's something that I never thought I would do, because it's exhausting. But not exhausting in the sense that I hate it. It's exhausting in the sense that it's just exhausting in general. And I'm really grateful for everything that has come of it. And since my return to Mixer, I cannot wait to see what happens in the future. As I was a member of this streaming community known as Avenger Friends, and you guys are absolutely amazing, and I love you guys. Everyone at Avenger Friends, as well as all of my followers on Mixer and Twitch. I love every single one of you, and I'm sorry I was turning down my computer a little bit so my sounds don't blare at me. So, with that being said, I love you guys, and I'm excited to celebrate with you guys. as I enter a command in chat just for the hell of it, because I want to. I just want to see if it actually works.
Slow learner. Because here, either you decay or you disappear.
There's Rosemary there. One of my favorites of all time. But I love you guys so much, and honestly, like, if it weren't for you guys and the amount of support that you guys show for all of my content, regardless of streaming or on Twitch, Mixer now, obviously, and the YouTube content, and I'm not talking about the views, I'm not talking about the comments, well, not necessarily. I'm not talking about numbers. I'm not talking about that. It's all good and fun to have you guys come out here and watch the streams, and I'm very appreciative of those who do come by and watch the video or watch the stream or watch the video on my YouTube channel, whatever, or support my content in any way, shape, or form. I'm greatly appreciative of that. But honestly, the biggest thing that I love is the feedback that I get from this show, how you guys relate to these characters. You guys love these characters. You guys love what I do. You love my enthusiasm for wrestling. You love the commentary. You love all of this stuff. And to get feedback from it, and most of it being less constructive and more of just, I love the way you do this. I mean, I get constructive criticism and I get that type of feedback, but I love the feedback where, you know, people are like, I love what you're doing, keep doing it, whatever. And it's so refreshing to have that, you know, as a content creator. As somebody who puts a lot of time in everything that they do, because there's a lot of creation that goes into this, especially with the wrestlers and creating them and creating the characters and making the storylines and everything that goes into it. And you guys are just incredible. And I'm very thankful for everything that you guys do for me. And I'm excited to do the 1 year anniversary with you guys. So without further ado, let's get this started with Jason Outlaw versus Sabre. Tonight you are going to see Kenny Omega versus Buddy Murphy, the world's best kept secret, in a no disqualification matchup. But we have Jason Outlaw coming out. And that bell kick, obviously, you see on his pants. You can get that shirt on my merch store. You can enter !store, the command store in chat, and get a link towards there. A percentage of those sales goes to me, so you are directly supporting me by getting that, and you also get a pretty kick-ass t-shirt in my book. So feel free to get that as Jason, a little bit of ring rust, a little bit. It's been a while since we've seen him in the ring here in action, but you know, as he tries to lift up Sabre here, but Sabre with the reversal of the uppercut. Tried for a cutter of some sort, but Jason caught him. Sabre with the arm drag though. Kick to the midsection. Now lifting up Sabre being the tiniest of all the wrestlers on the roster here, but don't let his size fool you. He is very quick and very agile. As Jason there's some little old school wrestling there as Sabre throws Jason out to the outside now. And the referee begins the count. And an elbow right to the face of Jason Outlaw and a knee right to the midsection. That'll take your breath away for sure. Now throwing Jason into the barricade. Count of 4 and a back soup and a snap suplex there, but the back of Sabre goes right into that barricade there. Count of 6 though. 7, and now both men are back into the ring now. After that count of 7, but a suplex there from Jason Outlaw. Jason Outlaw has the match of his life, possibly, with his brother Bryan's soul on the line at the Liberation PPV. So make sure you tune in for that when that comes, as we are 2 episodes away, and a big knee right there in the corner and a clothesline, dropping Sabre down. But Sabre, though, with a clothesline of his own, dropping Jason. He says, whatever you can do, I can do better. But he allows Jason to get up to his feet, but an elbow right to the face, and it appears that he shrugged that off there. Pushing Sabre away there. A quick reversal there from Jason. This is a very back and forth matchup with these two, and a couple of shots to the midsection. Jason there as Sabre looks to take advantage. Who tried for the kick. It's so close, but no cigar though. And a super kick right to the face of Jason Outlaw. And Jason finds himself in a world of trouble here as the referee begins to count. And a count of 2. And Sabre thought he had Jason there. Down for the count. Looking for Nightmare here on Jason. But Jason reversed Nightmare. He caught Sabre's leg into a Samoan drop, dropping Sabre where he stands. But a punch to the midsection of Jason, though, who tried for a big clothesline. So close, but no cigar yet. A kick and a rear clothesline there. Clothesline from behind. And a big knee right to the face. Jason in a leg drop. And Sabre trying to pull out all the stops here to try and beat one of the most dominant superstars we have in Jason Outlaw here. All the Outlaws being absolutely dominant since joining RCW, with Bryan being the first one to join the RCW roster and the rest of his family to follow. Sabre trying to lift up Jason, but a dragon screw leg drag there from Jason, and an arm drag from Sabre. Very back and forth action we are seeing here. Or is he looking to take Jason? A punch, but Sabre checked that punch. A super kick, but no, Sabre caught that. Now working on the neck. Jason now into a cover here as the referee has to get in position here. And just a 1 count. Sabre getting a little tired as both men are a little tired here. Is Sabre looking for Nightmare here, looking to finish Jason here with a Nightmare. 1, 2, and no, Jason kicked out at 2.5. Sabre thought he had him there, and I don't blame him on that one. He stomped. Now he's looking for the comeback, but Jason stopped him there. Jason stopped him, and now dropping him right on his head into a small package here. 1, and no. I don't know if Jason realized just how far he was. Who tried for a chop in the corner, but Jason caught him there. Kick to the midsection, and kick right to the back of the neck. Who knows how it's going to be against his brother Bryan as he goes for that bail kick and connects. Now looking for the VR here on Sabre. This is put down so many other wrestlers, and then VR on Sabre. Looking to get the win here. 1, 2, and no. Sabre with the kick out at 2.5. Jason wondering what he has to do to get Sabre to stay down. Quick reversal there from Jason, though, in a clothesline into the corner. Tried to stomp, but no stomp today, and a kick to the midsection. What a back and forth match we are seeing here between both of these men, and an elbow right to the face, taking Jason down in the cover. This referee has to get in position. 1, 2. And Jason again with the kick out at 2.5. It's going to take a lot more than that. Uh-oh. Sabre looking to kick Jason's head off here. But Jason stepped out of the way from that kick. Into a cover here. 1, 2. And he almost got Sabre. Lifting up Sabre here. Looking for the bill kick again and connects. Oh, this time I think Jason's looking for a running start here. Looking for a running start here on Sabre, and he gets the VR to connect. Dragging him to the middle of the ring. Perfect ring awareness there. 2. And no, Sabre again with the kick out at 2.5. We're rolling up Jason here, looking to catch him, but no. Now Sabre doing a little bit of taunting as Jason going to take a little bit of a breather here. On the outside, but Sabre's going right after him in a suplex. On the outside, and unfortunately for both of these men, the floor isn't as forgiving as the ring is. Count of 4, though. Now he throws Sabre back into the ring, and now stomping away. Ooh, an enziguri there. Step up enziguri. And a bill kick once more. And he's telling Sabre to get up to his feet. This could spell bad for Sabre. Looking for the VR, and he connects again with the VR on Sabre, and that busted him wide open. Count of 2. And no, Sabre again with the kick out. And again telling him to get up to his feet. As Jason knows how to end this. Looking for another VR, but he hits the referee. He hit the referee with a VR. And this match is still going still. Nightmare. But the referee is down and can't do the count. 1, 2, 3, and that ended up screwing Jason Outlaw over. He hit the referee by mistake. Jason hitting the referee with the VR by mistake. He probably should have just gone for the cover after the first one. But he got a little bit overzealous there, and Sabre was able to take advantage of that hiccup. That definitely spelled bad for Jason there, as that was not good. Jason hitting the referee with the VR, and I'm pretty sure that was a mistake. That was not intentional, as the referee somehow got in the way there. But that ended up costing Jason there as we continue here. As Zero is going to be taking on the Heart of RCW, Heart of 205 Live, Heart of SmackDown Live, whatever you want to call him, Mustafa Ali. As Zero gets ready for his championship matchup against Miles Anderson at the Liberation PPV for the RCW World title. And I'm pretty sure he has that championship glory in his mind, but he can't think about that right now, as he must face Mustafa Ali first. As Zero comes out here now. Zero, you may see him wear the Zero Tolerance shirt. That shirt is on sale at my merch store. You can go ahead and grab that. Here, let me type in the command for you. There you go. You can get some merch there by going to my merch store by clicking on that link right there in chat. And you'll be able to get your very own Zero Tolerance shirt. It's available in all sizes. Feel free, if you ever decide to get one of my shirts, definitely share it on Twitter. Tag me on Twitter. I would definitely love to see you guys represent the merch there in the channel, and that would be fun to see you guys do that. A former RCW Carnage champion is making his way to the ring as Mustafa Ali looks to get this win over Zero. Now, I don't honestly know the mindset of Mustafa Ali going into this match. He wants to get back in the title picture just like any other former champion, but I would say that Zero has a lot more to lose than Mustafa Ali has, because he's on the momentum swing. Ever since he came to RCW, he's been on this momentum swing especially since he won the #1 contenders match to face Miles Anderson. So he's got quite the momentum going for him. But Mustafa Ali, on the other hand, doesn't have much on his plate throughout this match. I say that every match matters, but like I said, I think Zero definitely has more to lose here than Mustafa Ali. And I think a win here will definitely boost his confidence going into the title matchup that he has with Miles Anderson. And I'm pretty sure Miles has something huge in store for Zero. Now, a lot of you have asked about 2K20 and my ideas for it and stuff like that, as it pertains to the RCW show and what you guys see here. Obviously, I don't know if I had said this in a previous stream or what have you, but I won't be having as many CAWs this year, meaning I won't be creating as many wrestlers this year for the 2K game. Reason being is because I put a lot of detail into my wrestlers, including going through their movesets and trying to make different moves for them and trying to make their movesets unique and their styles unique and stuff like that. And with WWE 2K being a yearly title, meaning that a new game comes out every October, and with there not being a CAW, I guess, importation feature where you import CAWs from a previous game into the current game, which I hope they add. That would be awesome if they would ever add that. But with that not being something in the game, I find myself having to create multiple CAWs over and over and over as a result of that, which it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I don't mind it. But I've been noticing that there's a lot of CAWs that I've created this year that I haven't even used, really, on the show itself. And, I'm just thinking for next year, or for this year's game, rather, what's the point in having all those CAWs if we're not going to use all of them? So, obviously we will have Miles Anderson, we will have the Outlaws, we will have Zero, we will have some of the newer guys. Obviously, the Outlaws aren't gonna go. I'm just saying that down the road, you know, that for future games, including 2K20, that I'm not going to be making as many CODs this year. And I think with the roster, with the actual roster themselves only getting bigger and bigger every year, I think that proves to be more and enough. And with the community creations and tons of people making wrestlers of their own, or possibly making CODs of actual wrestlers, like Rosemary, for example, and Tony Storm, and or at least for this game time being, with Tony Storm not being in the game, you know, with that being a feature, we can definitely download many CODs. So that leaves an opportunity for you guys to have your CODs as part of the universe as well. Because it just saves more time for me, because it's very tiring to make all these wrestlers, especially when it comes to making all of their movesets and stuff like that. Like, you can make everything from their standing grapples to their to the way that they are in the ring, and when the announcer announces their name, like what pose they make, their pre-match pose, or their victory and stuff like that, their victory pose, all of that awesome stuff. And, you know, when you factor in so many CODs, with there being so many CODs, it's kind of too much, in a sense. So I hope this doesn't, like, discourage any of you from watching the series. We will still have, you know, Zero and some of the, obviously the Outlaw is the most popular cause on the show. We will have those guys, but it's just getting too much for me to make all of that stuff. And plus, I already have most of the logos already saved on my computer, so it's really just uploading them to the 2K20 community creations and making the arena isn't the hardest part. It's making the CODs that are the hardest part, because I have to remake them again. It's not like I can import CODs from a previous game, which I wish I could, but it's not like I can do that at the moment, because that's not a feature in the game, and it's just tiring to make 15, 20 wrestlers, give or take, and only using a handful of them. And honestly, I just keep them on the game in the hopes that I may use them. And that's the only reason why I kept a lot of some of these wrestlers in the game. So obviously the champions, they'll need to be made. So if there's like new champions, we'll have those. So we'll have Miles Anderson. We will have, you know, Mercy Phantom and some of the guys that you know from this show, other than the Outlaws, and Max Mercury, obviously, we'll have him as well. But, you know, I really would like to take advantage of the 2K roster this year, and use more current superstars. Because, one, I don't have to make any of their movesets, and two, I think it'll be even more fun. And, you know, we may bring the Rogues back, we may not. Who knows? I haven't decided whether or not I will bring the Rogues back in 2K20. But I will definitely bring back, you know, the Outlaws and the characters that you've come to know and love, obviously. So I will definitely bring the Outlaws back. So they may look a little bit different in terms of looks, but I doubt they're going to look different in terms of the lighting. I doubt they're going to make any huge updates to the graphical engine and stuff like that. So they're probably not going to look too much different. But I want to experiment with the new features in the game, obviously. So that's a little bit of news regarding the RCW in 2K20 as Zero looks for zero tolerance again, but Mustafa Ali able to get the knees up. Now throwing Zero into the corner. Turning him around as you can see that blood from his forehead pouring. Uh-oh, I think Mustafa Ali is going for the Spanish fly from the top rope, and that's exactly what we just seen there. Spanish fly from the top rope. And Zero with the kick out just barely at 2.5. Mustafa Ali almost had him reeling there, but and a knee further busting that cut open. But I honestly will like to keep some guys that I plan to experiment with a little bit more. Obviously, Dank Ops, who created Chris Danger, it'll probably be some time before he comes back because Chris Danger needs to be created on the community creations. So maybe a little bit before you see Rosemary and all those other wrestlers on 2K20, because you have to give some time for people to actually get the game and to actually create stuff. So it may be a little bit before we see that, but I guarantee when we start up RCW again, the Outlaws are going to be a day one sort of thing. Like, that's my main priority, is getting the Outlaws made. Zero tosses Mustafa Ali back into the ring. Now going up to the top rope, possibly looking for zero tolerance again. But he realizes that Mustafa Ali is getting up and decides not to. Again, dragging the lifeless body of Mustafa Ali, barely moving, looking for zero tolerance, and he connects with it a second time. And Mustafa Ali somehow kicked out of zero tolerance yet again. And like I said, there's this confidence factor that Zero has, knowing that he has that title match ahead of him. I apologize for that. Just had to mute my mic for a minute. But there's definitely that confidence factor from Zero heading into his title match, and getting a win over somebody like Mustafa Ali would definitely boost that confidence heading in. As Miles Anderson has had quite the reign with the RCW World title. Dragging him away from the ropes, possibly a very smart thing, as Mustafa Ali likes to go for that neck breaker. The through the ropes neck breaker that we see quite a bit. Zero slamming Mustafa Ali down to the canvas. Now looking for zero tolerance again. Zero tolerance again on Mustafa Ali. Count of two here, and Mustafa Ali again with the kick out at 2.5. And I apologize for my remote drop there. I never realized how close it is to the edge of the bed, but then it ends up dropping. I can't tell you how many times it's happened before, and zero tolerance again on Mustafa Ali, and I think he's got him this time, and he does. He's got him. And zero wins. I guarantee that win there definitely boosts his confidence heading into his title match at the Liberation pay-per-view. So I don't necessarily know when that's going to be. You still have to figure out a couple things. Obviously, we still have episode 19 to do, so we still got that. And then we have the anniversary episode, which the anniversary episode is going to be completely separate from the seasonal series. So, you know, when we do our anniversary episode on Wednesday to celebrate the 1 year anniversary of this show, when we do that, it's going to be separate from the season series. So you'll see random freaking matches, which sometimes you see on the seasonal show anyway. But I want there to be a special episode dedicated to that, and not just something that is how you say, a part of the season. It'll be a universe mode episode. We will have, special matches. And you guys, I will have possibly a couple tweets going out, and polls. And I haven't quite decided how I want to do this, either polls or whatever, but you guys will help schedule those matches. Obviously, with the Outlaws being a big part of this show, there's no chance in hell that they won't be on the show. Of course, maybe Jack won't be on the show because Jack just got added. So possibly the only Outlaw that won't be on the anniversary episode will be Jack, as he was a sort of season, he debuted this season, whereas Sky and Luna and all the rest of them have been a part of this show for a real long time. So with Luna being a part of it since season 3, so, and even though she's only been a part of the show for 2 seasons, as Bailey coming out here, that's still a long time if you think about it, because a lot of stuff, every season is 20 episodes long besides season 1, and a lot of stuff happens in those episodes, and a lot of storylines have been created and have unfolded throughout 5 seasons of this show. So it's I would say it's very interesting in the sense that even though Luna's only been a part of the show since season 3, she's been a part of it in big ways. The Sky Outlaw here is going to be facing Bailey, possibly looking to get back in the titles picture as she won the title over Paige in that huge rivalry way back, I believe it was in season 2. And Luna also won said title after beating Sky Outlaw for that exact same title. And a sister versus sister bout there. There's Bailey with the quick reversal there. Irish whip into the corner, and Bailey looking for some momentum over Sky here and taking her down with a Hurricane Rana. Now, a lot of you have asked me about the Outlaw World Tour series. That series that I have coming up once 2K20 drops. And the Outlaws have been created. Well, what is my plan for that? Well, like I said, I haven't really decided on whether it be a YouTube series or a streaming series where we go live here on Mixer and do it. Whether we do a separate universe mode where we take ROH and WWE shows like Raw and SmackDown, and NXT, and we take stuff like that and we make it our own. That'll definitely be a lot of cause being downloaded because of that, which is completely fine because I won't have to make them. So we'll have like Jay Lethal and a couple of guys from ROH. We'll have AEW obviously as well because they've built a roster. We will have them as well. It'll be sort of a thing. Basically, the synopsis of the series is basically this, where the Outlaws, they decide to go around the world invading promotions. Like Impact, or AEW, or even WWE. And they just wreak havoc and go wherever they go. Now, as far as how many things we will have, I believe we have 5 matches alone in this universe mode, and you can have up to 7. I'm not sure if that's going to increase with 2K20. I don't think it will. But if that were to increase, that'd be awesome, because that would just provide more options for us, or for me as the content creator, and for you guys to have. Because you guys will be helping me control the story. Because of it being a world tour thing, and it not being a heavily storyline driven show, we might have storylines, but it's not going to be anything like RCW or anything like the My Career universe modes or anything like that. It's not going to be anything like that where it's a rivalry between 1 or 2 people. It's not going to be anything like that, kind of like we do with RCW, because RCW is more of the alternative. Think of it as the alternative to SmackDown and Raw. It has that SmackDown and Raw feel universe mode where it's, current superstars versus with custom superstars implemented in it, obviously. But with the World Tour, it's going to center around the Outlaws. And it's going to center around them just continuing their wrestling journey, because obviously their backstory is that they were wrestlers before. From Manhattan, and they were wrestling in MWE, Manhattan Wrestling Entertainment, which is sort of like a made-up indie thing that I did, as Bailey gets the win here over Sky Outlaw. And it's sort of like a made-up thing that I did, which you can check that series out, and that's the Lockdown series, where it lasted 2 seasons. And the reason behind it lasting 2 seasons was because I didn't see much of it going forward. I didn't really see a lot of it going forward, and we were using cause, and we were limited a lot. And I think it was my fault for allowing that to happen. For allowing it to be so limited. And just not fully taking advantage of things. And that was my fault. But I promise you this, that if you think RCW is cool, and you think the My Career series is cool with the cutscenes and all that stuff, trust me, the stuff that I have prepared for the Outlaw World Tour series, that's what I'm just calling it for now until I actually find a name for it. As Kevin Owens will be taking on Seth Rollins here, former RCW Carnage champion. So, with that being said, I think you guys are going to like what I have in store for the Outlaw series. So, my plan is, it's probably going to be a stream series, just because it's probably going to be kind of like this, where we go live for like an hour or two, and because I never know how long I want the matches to last. You never know how long these matches are going to last. I always have an idea of how I want to script the matches. As far as who wins, I have an idea of, usually. But as far as how long, the longevity of these matches, I don't really know. With the main event, obviously, I'd like to have it last the longest out of all the matches. But I like to have matches equally last. Meaning that none seems too dragged on. As Kevin Owens delivers a suplex here to Seth Rollins, but I plan on to do something. Now, you guys had seen the Bryan Outlaw promo video that I did. It's a minute long, and you'd be surprised, for a minute long video of me just doing the promo, me doing the voiceover, which took about 5 to 6 takes to actually do that. And that's because I wanted to get it right. I wanted to get the tone of voice right. I wanted to get all of that right. I added some reverb to it in case you didn't know. I added some reverb to it. As when in doubt, add reverb. But that video took a long time to produce because I wanted to get it right. And so with that in mind, I like the cutscene feature, I just don't like the way promos look. In terms of like in-ring stuff. I don't like how your guy just kind of walks around the ring and talks on the microphone. It's a pain in the butt for editing because, like, you just gotta do that consistently, right? Like, you gotta, like, what I do for editing those videos is the talking segments are only 15 seconds long, so I have to make them longer and post the same video twice. And then crop it down because the cutscenes aren't full screen. Now, depending on what features we have in 2K20, I might be able to fix that. I might be able to do it a little bit better, depending on what features we have. If cutscenes would load quicker, that'd be great. That's the one thing I would love to happen. But you know backstage brawls, right? For those of you who play this game, there's a backstage brawl mode where you brawl backstage. But there's a section backstage where you can do promos at. You don't actually get to do promos, but there's this section where there's a TV with the Raw logo on it, the WWE, a little WWE thing, right next to it, and you can use the highlight reel and you can pan the camera. You can pan it. Meaning that you can record, like, your superstar just standing there. You can record your superstar just standing there. So, and the animation is just rolling the shoulders over and over. Like, he's not talking, his mouth isn't moving or anything like that. If you do, like, taunts, he'll taunt towards the camera. You can do that. But I've seen a lot of content creators do that. And honestly, I've always thought about doing it that way. Because that way, I don't have to mess around with the cutscene feature. I don't have to mess around with that. I will still use cutscenes. I just won't have to mess around with the stupid promo stuff. And in the editing process, it'll make it easier. I think you'll get a better video out of it. And plus, I think it'll be cooler. Why can't I do the... But I think it'll be even cooler if we do it backstage-wise. Because, you know, I feel like it adds to the Outlaw character, too, as well. Because the Outlaws, they don't really care about the crowd. So, you know, them doing something backstage seems like more like their character. And it's kind of like Rosemary, too, because Rosemary very rarely does her promos in front of people. In front of the actual crowd itself. Granted, Impact is not as a high-capacity crowd as maybe like AEW or WWE or even ROH, but it's still something. So I think we will do that as far as the promos go. I will still do voiceovers for at least Jason Outlaw and Bryan Outlaw. But if I want to do a promo for Sky Outlaw or Luna Outlaw, I'll do it like I usually do, which I'll write it, and I'll do like a textual box or a text box or whatever for it. I'll do that. Kevin Owens is just manhandling Seth Rollins here. Seth Rollins in huge trouble here as Kevin Owens looking for the pop-up powerbomb, and he lands it on Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins with the kick out as KO looking for a win here over the former RCW Carnage champion as he lifts Seth Rollins up here. And a stunner from Kevin Owens. And again, Seth Rollins with the kick out. And stomping on those ribs. And he's had injured ribs in the past. With Seth Rollins trying to get himself fired up as he goes up to the top. Seth Rollins looking for the splash, but he got caught by Kevin Owens. And he gets dropped. And here it is again, looking for that pop-up powerbomb. Pop-up powerbomb again on Seth Rollins. And no, Seth Rollins again. Kicking out of the pop-up powerbomb. Kevin Owens is very easily tempered. And I'm pretty sure Seth knows that. I can't let that get the best of him. As a snap suplex almost right into the corner, but into a cover and a rope break. As I believe Kevin Owens' foot was underneath the rope. But we'll definitely have a stream talking about it. Possibly even after this stream. Because I would like to explain it a little bit more and get you guys' input on that. As far as the podcast, I don't know when that's going to happen. I have no idea when that's going to happen. I still have to talk to Slev about it. I want to talk to him today maybe and see if we could do it sometime this week. Because this week, the first week of college is not really, an eventful week You're really just going over the syllabuses, and that's really it. You're not really doing anything too eventful, so... Seth Rollins looking to dive right on Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens got the knees up. And now Kevin Owens looking for that stunner out of nowhere. And he connects with the stunner on Seth Rollins as the referee has to get down in position. And Kevin Owens gets the win over Seth Rollins. But, you know, I'm really excited for that Outlaw series. I think it's going to be something different. And it's going to be something fun. You know, it's an idea that I've had because I've wanted... Until Chikara Action Arcade Wrestling comes out, which is this new wrestling game. Until it comes out, there's no other wrestling content that I have to really do. And that's supposed to come out fall of 2018 for PC. So apparently it's supposed to be ported over to consoles sometime later. But I don't know how long that's gonna take. And there's no way I'm buying it for PC just to buy it for console later. But we have our main event, Kenny Omega versus Buddy Murphy here for the main event. But you know, it's kind of like that. You know, I don't know. Exactly what I'm gonna do for that Outlaw series, but I know it's gonna be something awesome. Oh, but we have Alistair here looking to attack Kenny Omega before the match, and he has a steel chair in hand, but he doesn't need that. And Kenny Omega definitely did not see that one coming. This is a no disqualification match, so this is perfectly legal. Kenny Omega going for it, and a knee right to the face of Aleister Black, fighting back now. But yeah, I would definitely like to have a maybe a stream or something where we talk about that, and I can get your thoughts on it, because it's a really big series. It's an idea that I've had for a really long time. You know, I'm just thinking of it now, especially with Mixed Tag making a return in 2K20. So there's a lot we can do with it. And it appears that we are not going to see that match, as Aleister Black got attacked by Kenny Omega. Or Aleister Black attacks Kenny Omega. But I promise you guys, next episode, episode 19, the go-home show before the RCW Liberation PPV, we will have that match, Kenny Omega versus Buddy Murphy. Or maybe that'll be a match that we save for another time, as I'm pretty sure Kenny Omega wants a little bit of payback from Aleister Black. So I guarantee that that's going to spew a little bit of anger in Kenny Omega. So, we'll have to wait to find out for that. But with that being said, that is our show, guys. I'm excited for the 1 year anniversary of RCW. I'm really excited for it. It's the day that I consider it my stream anniversary too as well, because it's the day that I decided to take streaming a lot more seriously, meaning making a schedule, actually having a schedule and abiding by that schedule for the most part. It's one of the reasons why I decided to transfer colleges and to pursue a career in the wrestling industry. There was multiple reasons that led to me wanting to pursue a career in the wrestling industry, but I've always been a fan of wrestling, and you guys know that. Hence, that's the reason why I started this whole thing. But I feel that as the show has gone on, my passion for it has grew and grew and grew. Especially with the storylines and just what we've been able to do with the show. Giving you guys, good quality entertainment. If you don't like what Raw is doing, or whatever, and this is your alternative, then so be it. That's what it is. And I'm excited to see what comes of it. I plan on making 1 year anniversary merch for the merch store, because I think that's a big deal. I think what better to celebrate it than to have 1 year anniversary merch. I plan to stylize the RCW logo in a way that is special, that commemorates that. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, I can't thank you guys enough for it. It's been a wild ride, regardless of if you're from my Twitch community, if you're from my Mixer community when I started using Restream and started streaming it to multiple platforms, or what it is. I think there's something to be said when you have a bunch of people that view your show as an actual show rather than something in a video game, because literally that's how I view it. When I take this and I create all this stuff for you guys, I don't view it as a hobby, as something that I just do. Because if it literally was, I feel like when it's a hobby, when something is a hobby that you do, I don't feel like you take it as seriously. It's kind of just, it's I feel like a hobby is something that you do every once in a while, something that you just do for fun. But when something becomes your livelihood, and it doesn't necessarily meaning that it has to be your job, that you make money off of it. But when something that you love to do, or something that you just have an uttermost passion for, that you don't want to stop doing, that you want to go in and get after, whether it's going for a degree in college to pursue that, or talking with people in that field, or to get job opportunities, or it's doing something creative like this that could help you practice at the field that you want to get into, or just anything in regards to your passion, anything where you can take that and turn it into something physical rather than oh, I just watch wrestling because I love wrestling. Like, I feel like it's totally different when you're able to do something like that. When you're able to take something that you watch on TV or that you listen to. It's like making music, for example. Like, I love listening to music, but when I was making it, I was having a lot more fun. Because I view myself as a creative person, and I love making things. I love being creative. I find myself as like a deep critical thinker. Otherwise, all these storylines would kind of just be all over the place if I wasn't thinking critically. And, I feel like there's something to be said when it becomes your life. When it becomes something that you don't want to stop doing. And I feel like based on my experiences by going to wrestling events and meeting wrestlers and talking to them, and these are just indie wrestlers, guys that get paid dirt, basically, for putting their bodies on the line. Like, I feel like you can have a passion for something, whether it's baseball or anything else. But there's something to be said when that passion that you have, when you go to wrestling school and you train to be a wrestler, and you're making dirt money compared to, what guys are doing in WWE. Because a lot of people, they have a passion for something and they go after it. But then once that same passion has to turn into a job where, money matters, and because it makes the world go round and it puts food on the table and stuff like that, I feel like that's where your attitude can change. And I feel like a lot of people would get discouraged, there's a lot of people who have left indie wrestling companies for WWE. And there was a guy named Sami Callihan, who you may know, that was on TNA or Impact. Well, he is on Impact. And he got a shot at WWE. And I remember the one little snippet I watched. I don't know if it was an actual full interview, but it was a one little snippet. And he said simply, WWE is a paycheck. When he was going around in that performance center, he didn't feel like he belonged there. And he didn't feel like that he could do what he wanted in that promotion. Like, WWE is the biggest wrestling company in the world, aside from AEW, which has been making a buzz. I wouldn't consider it a big company yet, but it's been generating a lot of buzz. And I think it says a lot when you look at, WWE wrestlers who are making millions, at least a couple 100,000 a year, and putting their bodies on the line, going to autograph signings, all of that good stuff. But at the end of the day, they're getting that paycheck. Not to say that they don't care about the fans, because they wouldn't have a job if it weren't for the fans, because they have to get over. But with indie wrestlers, where they may make $100 just to wrestle, and they'll tell you that. They'll tell you straight up that they don't make a ton of money, because they don't. And that's the kind of thing that kind of makes me a little angry. Because if you're not working for a big company, but you're still putting your body on the line, and there's risk of you being paralyzed with one bad bump, in my opinion, you deserve a little bit more than what you're getting. Not just more money, but more like health benefits and stuff. Because a lot of times with indie wrestling companies, they don't have health insurance. So you're paying for your own surgery, most of the time out of pocket. Because insurance companies, they don't cover a lot of that stuff. So most of the time, indie wrestlers, they have to pay out of pocket. So $5,000 may not be a lot of money or a couple thousand may not be a lot of money for a indie wrestler, or for a WWE guy, but for an indie wrestler, that's a lot of money. And I think there's something to be said about those wrestlers that are on the indie scene that make dirt money. That still have that passion despite putting their body on the line, all the crap that they have to go through, and as well as especially crap from quote unquote wrestling fans. Just go on Twitter and look at some of the stuff that gets said at these wrestlers from these quote unquote wrestling fans. And the reason why I say put quotes around it is because they're not. You know, they're looking at it from one perspective and not looking at it from another. They're not like me, where I look at it from storyline, creative, for what it is, rather than what you see. There's a difference. There's a difference between what you see and what something actually is. And to me, you only get that experience if you actually make an effort to interact with the wrestlers. Like, literally, if you go to my Twitter, I'm almost tweeting almost anybody that has to do with wrestling, whether it's a wrestling interviewer, a wrestler, or whatever. Not in hopes of getting an interaction, but just because I love wrestling. And I love hearing about podcasts, JR's podcast, Chris Van Vele's podcast, Alicia Toots' YouTube series, or YouTube thing that she's got going, where she interviews wrestlers. And she's not signed by a company, by the way. She's just doing it, reaching out to wrestlers and just interviewing them, which is pretty dope, in my opinion, because she's been very fortunate, gotten to meet some of the biggest names in wrestling on the indie scene and WWE, and got to be in the presence of greats, like Rob Van Dam, and I would kill to be next to Rob Van Dam. Come on, I mean, that's RVD is probably one of the greatest. He's up there, definitely. But even some of the greatest indie stars, But, like I said, I'm excited for the 1 year anniversary. I'm so grateful for all the kindness that has been shown towards the channel, and the support that you guys have for the show and what I do is amazing. And I wouldn't do it without you guys. I wouldn't be doing this if you guys didn't love it. Because at the end of the day, this is a lot to do. And like I said, I think there's something to be said when you're an indie wrestler, or when you're not making anything out of something. Like, you're not really getting any monetary value out of it, but you still enjoy it, or very little monetary value out of it. Because, like I said, money changes everything. And that can be said about a lot of people. People see $1 million contract and they sign it solely because of greed. But, it's good to know, because I actually got a chance to, I've told you guys this before, I've gotten a chance to meet Jody Threat, who is a indie wrestler for Smash Wrestling, and many other indie companies. She actually got a WWE tryout, which is insane. Good for her. I really hope that Triple H signs her, and doesn't ruin her. Triple H doesn't do it. Vince is the problem. But I really hope Triple H sees some potential in her and offers her a contract. because that would be insanely awesome to see her wrestle the likes of Mia Yim and some of the guys on NXT, some of the women, because they got a pretty awesome division there down in NXT. So I would definitely love to see her destroy some of the girls down there. So, you know, I really hope that she gets it. Because it's just a tryout. It doesn't guarantee a signing, but I really hope she gets signed. You know, she's real cool. We've stayed in touch on Twitter since we met each other, so it's kind of been that sort of thing. So I've been kind of keeping up with her and what she's up to. I'll let you guys know if she ever does get that big break, but I'm really hoping that she does, because she deserves it. She's awesome. She's real cool. It was fun being able to do a couple shoots, which, if you're not familiar with that term, a shoot is basically something that is unplanned in wrestling. Basically, it's something that the wrestlers know about, or the wrestlers are going to do, but isn't a part of the script, isn't a part of the original plan, that is talked amongst wrestling talent, and or the staff members, and I was just doing a promo right off the bat, and you know, talking with her and talking in character and doing the promo and all that, and she went along with it, which it was fun. It was a fun experience, and I really hope that she furthers her career through that. So, with that being said, I can't wait to see you guys on Wednesday. It's going to be a fun time. Make sure that you're here. I will make sure to send out like notifications, whatever I have to do to let you guys know that I am here and that I'm live. So, in case you want to follow me on other things, you can check my Twitter and all my other stuff. But here's my Discord. That link should work, and if it doesn't, I can send whoever wants to join it another link to the server. Basically, that's a place where we can all play games together. We can all connect and talk to each other on and off stream. It's on my phone, so I get notifications from it, so I won't miss it. I also have a Mixer bot in there that tells you when I go live. It's pretty much instantaneous. It's not like Twitch, where there's like a little bit delayed. So I'm excited, and I hope that you guys take the opportunity to join the Discord. Feel free to talk to my co-writer John, who helps me write the show and helps me do the show. Feel free to check out his series on his YouTube channel as well, and many other awesome content creators. We have the bot, the Twitch bot, that sends out notifications when my good friend Slev86 and Zinix Gaming go live, so make sure to check out those guys as well as Bullet Dozer 911 here on Mixer. He's one of my good friends. He's also a mod of the channel, so please definitely check him out as well. That would be awesome. So I'm really excited, and I can't wait to see you guys there for the 1-year anniversary. Should be fun, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. I might do a stream right after this one where we talk about the Outlaw series more in depth. I get to get some of your opinions on it as well, and should be fun. You'll see some of the Outlaws as well, obviously. So, with that being said, I will catch you guys next time.